Welcome to Roll for Crit. Today we are previewing a new game that's on Kickstarter from One Day West Games called Sheep Boom Ba, a game about trying to herd sheep, get them into your barnyard or your barn to score points, but trying to avoid obstacles along the way.
Yeah, this is a light game, and pretty much most of it will take place in moving your sheep on this board. You will take a bunch of tiles, randomly mix them around, and these outer areas, just starting tiles, are only there to start. You're not allowed to go back on them. And as you will move your sheep onto a tile. When you do, you'll flip them over, and they can either be a safe space, a barnyard, which we'll explain a little bit later, or a landmine.
Uh-oh.
Now, if you get a landmine, there are ways to possibly defuse it, in which case you actually will score points and get to put this. You're supposed to replace it, but we're lazy, so we just usually put it over. But if you can't, your sheep is put into the graveyard, which will give you negative points at the end of the game, but then you make that a safe place to cross. After you move 2 sheep and play as many cards that you want on your turn, or discard, your turn ends, and you pretty much repeat this until someone has all their sheep off the board, whether it's from being put into your own barn, an opponent's barn, or dying. Everyone gets one more turn, then you count up points to see what the final scores are. The cards I mentioned before have a lot of different abilities. There could be ones that just let you move sheep around on the board here, ones that let you mess around with sheep on opponents' boards and maybe bring them to your board, saving them from landmines, or just messing around with your own board.
At the end of the game, whoever has the most points is the winner. You will count up your points from a number of different factors. First, on your player board, if you have sheep in your barn or your barnyard, they are worth points depending on whether they are your own color or another player's color. Either one can help you out. You will lose a point for each sheep in your graveyard. That's no good. You will gain points as the game goes on from any tile that has a +1 on it, or whatever the number may be as you go. And you're also going to be able to get points from these cards that we talked about. They have different colors on them, symbols that match the different player colors and symbols. So if you save the colors that are in your hand that match yours, they're worth 1 point each at the end of the game. So if I were the blue player, I might want to keep these in my hand rather than play them because that's 2 points for me. But that all comes down to the timing of the situation, when you think you might want to play a card, when it's worth it to hold on to, etc. So it's a very straightforward game. The box says ages 8 and up. I definitely think maybe even some 6 or 7-year-olds who are savvy out there might be able to get a handle on this one. I think it's a fun, light, family type of game. There's definitely some randomness in terms of, obviously these tiles are totally random, so you don't know what you're going to get. But there's some strategies that you can employ coming down to, again, when you play these cards, for instance, as well as things like you can actually push sheep around the board.
Yeah, so let's say, because you can get any sheep in your barn for points, if I had a red guy here, they can't share a space, so I could actually move here, pushing the green one into my barn, which then goes there to get me points. It is very light and can end extremely quickly. We had one game where somehow, Jonathan, you blew up almost all your sheep.
Yeah, that it was sad. I had a lot of dead sheep in my graveyard.
Yeah,
it was really unfortunate.
So the game actually ended really early because of that, because it doesn't matter how your sheep leave the board. Once one player's sheep are all gone, pretty much everyone gets one more turn. Mm-hmm. So it just turned out it accidentally, he was like, well, this is the game.
Yeah, I mean, the box time is 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. So I think that's pretty much in line with what you're going to get. It's, like I said, straight to the point. It's goofy. It's colorful. All these cards have, well, most of them have sheep puns. Some of them are just sheep-related wordplay, but they're all goofy.
We've been used to it from the Sheep Smash-Up expansion.
Right.
The 2 things I do want to mention, they sent a small pack. We're not showing it on here because they said it was a stretch goal. It was pretty much a new action card that had you gamble sheep on a die roll. And there was also, they mentioned that they made the cards colorblind friendly, so you know the cloud to the cloud. And I think they said they're going to try to do something with the sheep, but for now they're just the sheep and the meatball. Maybe by now you can see on the Kickstarter if they have done anything involving that.
Right, there should be symbols on these guys so colorblind people don't get confused by them. Yeah, so that is the game. It's Sheep Boom Ba. Like, oh, I just got it. Like, bah.
Really?
I just thought it was a catchy title. Anyway, you can look at it. It's on Kickstarter right now in the description down below. Let us know. What do you think? Are you going to back Sheep Boom Bah? You like sheep, or are you waiting for a different barnyard animal? I don't know. Until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Will.
And this was Roll for Crit.
Never miss out by liking and subscribing, and you can also check out more on our Patreon.
We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and Twitch, so follow us there.